What's going on, you guys? We're back. Today's warm-up is pretty straightforward. We got 3 movements. The reverse tabletop is first. So I just take a seat, plant my hands below my shoulders, and I lift my hips up. We're just hanging out here for 20 seconds. Okay? Next is half burpees. I jump back to a plank. Then I bring my feet back to my hands. Jump and clap overhead. That's a half burpee. And then jumping jacks are last. We know them. We love them. Easy peasy jumping jacks. The workout today. 3 5-minute rounds. We're going to start in a 20-second handstand hold. So remember that when we're in a handstand hold, it's not just a balancing act. It's something that we work really hard to be in a strong position throughout. So my feet are together, my knees are locked, my belly's tight, my butt's flexed. I'm pressing through my shoulders. I'm gripping the ground with my fingertips as much as I am balancing on my palm. But it's a very, very active position that we're in the entire time. I'm even thinking about pointing my toes. So whether you're in a full inverted handstand, or you scale it all the way back to a plank hold, or you're somewhere in between, maybe you're at 45 degrees, make sure that it's not a position where there's a lot of like slack in the chain. It should be tension in your abs and your belly and your butt. Everything should be on tension throughout so that you're staying in a strong position, and it's a position that you control, not just one that you try to find balance in, okay? So 20 seconds in a handstand hold, 10 suitcase reverse lunge steps. So for those, I got a dumbbell per hand. I'm gonna stand up tall, pack my shoulders, and I'm gonna step way back, tap the back knee, stand up, switch sides, tap the back knee, stand up, switch sides, going back and forth for those. And then last, just a simple little movement called a dumbbell devil press, no big deal. This is a tough one. We're gonna go, think like basically burpee between the dumbbells with one hand per bell. So I grab the dumbbells, I burpee down to them, I stand back up as I hike the dumbbells back between my legs, open my hips and lift all the way up to overhead. So think about it in 2 movements. Here's the first part. Put my hands on the bells, bring my chest down to the bells, okay? Then I come back up and land with my feet wider than them. That's the first part, okay? So one more time, looks like this. All right, second part. I pull the dumbbells together back between my legs, and then I open my hips and I lift up to overhead, okay? So all together it looks like this. All right, one thing that I want you guys to note, when I'm pulling the dumbbells back between my legs, I want my back angle to be low so that my hips are lower than my shoulders. So what happens sometimes is we get tired and we're picking these things up and our back's all around and our hips are above our shoulders. You want to be here. So hips below your shoulders at the bottom so that your back is nice and flat and you're in a strong position to hike them and to use your hips to punch them up to overhead. That's that. So we're doing 3 5-minute rounds of that for the equipment version. And then the bodyweight version is going to start with a handstand hold, then 16 reverse lunge steps with no weight, and then strict burpees. So I jump back to a plank, do a strict push-up, which can be done from your toes or from your knees. And then I jump my feet back to my hands and jump and clap overhead. So strict burpees are different in that because you're doing that strict push-up, it makes you slow down just a teeny bit, okay? So because you slow down, they might not be quite as winding as if you're doing a traditional burpee. However, because you're having to do that strict push-up, it's gonna make them a little bit more challenging in terms of the challenge in the movement. That's gonna be a little bit harder. Having to do a strict push-up every time is more challenging than just getting to the ground as quickly as you can. So kind of a give and take there, but strict burpees is just a little way to slow it down, but you can at least look for the silver lining in that you're not going to be going quite as fast, okay? Or at least that's how I look at them. So 3 5-minute rounds of that. That is that. I'm sorry, I actually said that wrong. It's every 3 minutes, 4 or 5 rounds. So you're going to repeat that every 3 minutes. So that means that if you get through your handstand hold, your reverse lunge steps, and your dumbbell devil press, and that takes you 2.5 minutes, you then get 30 seconds to rest, okay? If you get through that in 90 seconds, you get 90 seconds to rest. So that's how this thing works. Every 3 minutes for 5 rounds, my apologies, I was just misreading this thing. Every 3 minutes for 5 rounds, you do that. 20-second handstand hold, 10 suitcase reverse lunge steps and 5 devil press, or else the bodyweight version, 20-second handstand hold, 16 reverse lunge steps, and 8 strict burpees. That's that. Okay, the accessory work today. Wide stance, good morning. So I go to a wide stance like so. I'm gonna put my arms across my chest and I'm gonna bend my knees. I'm gonna fold forward, but as I do so, I'm thinking about pushing my knees apart as I go, okay? Shoulders back, belly tight, I'm pushing my knees apart, lower down, and then stand back up. I'm lowering until I feel there's a lot of tension in the back and the inside of my legs. Lower and stand, okay? 10 of those nice and slow, and then we're gonna lay on our back. We're gonna do a 15-second hold in a single leg glute bridge. So left knee is bent, right leg is extended. I'm just gonna push through my left heel and lift up and hold. Okay, we'll be here for 15 seconds, so this glute is very much on tension right now, all right? Hold for 15 seconds, and then we switch and do 15 seconds on the other side, okay? The mobility work today. We haven't done this one in a long time. It's called, or the way that this is written right now, banded hamstring heel taps. So here's what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna lay back down onto my back and I'm gonna lift one leg up with the band around that foot. Okay, so just like so, all right? Now, all I'm gonna do is keep this leg locked as I lift the other leg up to meet it and then gently tap that heel to the ground, okay? So what I'm going for here is when my non-banded leg taps, I feel even more tension in the back of the standing leg. What happens a lot of times though, is that as we do these things, we let our, specifically the banded leg starts to bend, and if you do that, you're completely taking tension away from the hamstring that we're looking to stretch as we do this. So make sure that if you're not feeling any tension in the back of your leg, it's probably because that knee is starting to bend, and if you straighten it out, even just the difference between here and here, it'll make a noticeable difference in how much you feel that tension in the back of your leg. As far as how high it needs to be, the further back you pull towards your face, the more tension you're gonna create. But again, you need to keep that leg locked. So if you pull so far back that it needs to bend, you've gone too far. So find that kind of happy medium between not feeling any tension and going so far that it needs to bend. And then just let that other leg kind of gently tap and lift back up. Do 1 minute on one side, then switch, 1 minute on the other. We'll go back and forth until we have accumulated 3 minutes per side. That's it for the mobility on this one, you guys. Enjoy the workout. That's all I got. Have a good day. I'll see you on the next one.